All right. How's everybody doing?
Good.
You ready to get out of your houses now? Swell. Well, you know, we've been at home for how long now? About 6 weeks, I think. And we're all cooking and we're all eating plenty. And sometimes after this much cooking, people get bored of what they keep around. They get bored of what their normal repertoires are, as do the people that are eating their food. So this is just a chance to get a new breath on, a new take on maybe a few things, learn a thing or two, and who knows, maybe have some fun. Let's see. This is my first time cooking over the internet, I have to admit. So it's a little different. This is my kitchen, my family's kitchen, and it's a dual purpose kitchen. It's a family kitchen that also serves as the place where I cater a lot out of here, and so it takes a beating. Just saying. My wife would be the first to tell you. One of the things that I find that makes it easiest to be creative and to have fun in the kitchen is to keep a good staple of things around. Everybody's got a few things in their cabinets that they like to use, but you know, if you really keep a few extra things like different salsas or hot sauces, different vinegars, it allows you to do different things, offer different flavors without really having to go too far. You know, cooking's about eating, cooking's about the process, but it's got to be about fun too. You know, I always tell people that if you're in a really bad mood, or you know what, maybe that's the night that you order pizza, because happy people make happy food, and frustrated, unhappy people make frustrated, unhappy food, which is kind of ironic because commercial kitchens can be some of the most tense and happy places in the world. So, just saying. So, you know, there are some basics to everybody's kitchens. Knives are important. Get yourself at least one nice knife that you can call your own. Keep it away from family members that might want to, you know, cut a brick with it. This is a chef's knife. It's very heavy, and it's good. It's a good all-purpose knife. Holds a good edge. And you can get them. You can buy knives all over the place. You can get them sharpened a lot of places. There's a guy that'll sharpen your knives at the farmers market on Saturday mornings. Although I'm not sure he's there right now. But in general, he's there on Saturday mornings. There's a guy who rides around on his once a year. Doesn't cost much, and it helps quite a lot. You know, you can always tell a sharp knife because a sharp knife will cut through things, and a dull knife tends to sort of crush things or break things. And especially apparent when you're cutting onions, because you know everybody knows how much onions make people cry. Well, here's the deal: the only way to cut an onion and not make people cry is to have a sharp knife. You know, there's all. Does that mean what I do? There's all these wives' tales about, you know, put a matchstick in your mouth, put a radish in your ear, do all this stuff. The only thing that really works is to have a sharp knife, because a knife is just a thin surface, and it doesn't work by pushing. It only works by pulling. So if I cut straight down, but if I push through, it's a nice slicing motion. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got around? I'm gonna do a nice, this is kind of a Mexican dish. I'm sort of lightening it up a little bit, but it's called Chilaquiles, and mostly it's done for breakfast. It's sort of a use for stale tortillas. It's like the Mexican version of bread pudding. Something to do to use up old tortilla scraps. And you know, you can do it as a great brunch dish or a breakfast dish, but it makes a good accompaniment too. And you throw. We're looking for things that you can put together out of your pantry real fast that are very versatile. Like if you want to put cheese in it, put cheese in it. If you want to go vegetarian, put beans in it, and you'll get some protein in there. If you wanted to serve it with some grilled chicken or with a grilled marinated lamb, go for it. You know, the Americans tend to be stuck with what should I put with this or what should I do. I don't have that. Well, you know what? If you want to cook lamb and serve it with peanut butter and that's how you like it, go for it. Don't serve it to me, but go for it. You know, cooking's about what's your taste. When you're the chef, you get to decide. So, you know, it's not exactly high tomato season right now, but I still use them. So I've got some chopped onions here, and I've got some chopped green onions here, because we just had dinner. So I'm going to do basically what we're going to do is we're going to soften up some tortillas, some tortilla chips with a nice salsa. If you like it spicy, load it in. If you don't like it spicy, don't. I personally don't like it. I like a little bit of spice, and the rest of my family doesn't like any spice. So it's got to find the fine line. So what we're going to do, got a nice pot, got some flame under there, a little bit of, this is light olive oil. I like extra virgin olive oil. It's not particularly good for cooking because of all the things that make it taste good. All those green colors and smells tend to burn at a very low temperature. So you're gonna spend more money for extra virgin olive oil to put it in a saute pan and burn it. So it's not gonna be horribly noticeable, but it's not, you know, you're not using it to its best. You're not getting its best side, shall we say. So we're gonna warm up our pan. I'm a chef. I don't believe in hot pads. I just use towels. Some onions, some green onions, a little bit of salt. That's I use kosher salt at home. It's much easier to handle, and I find that it has a much less salty flavor than iodized salt. Fresh cracked pepper. Is an old electric mill that somebody gave me. It's the greatest thing in sliced bread. And then I've got tortilla chips. Who doesn't tortilla chips and salsa in their cabinet right now? Well, you should. I've never tasted this salsa, but I hear it's really good. Anybody have any questions? Anybody still with me? Okay, sounds good. So we're going to use rubber spatula. We need to get these onions softened up and release some of their goodness. Start to caramelize. We're going to put a little bit of salsa in there. Put a little, you can use water, you can use chicken stock, you can use tomato juice if you had it, whatever you like. Turn it up, get it infused with flavor. Gonna add some, these are some jalapenos that I pickled last couple months back. They're not too spicy. Got some black beans here. Canned beans are a really handy thing to keep around. You can do a lot of stuff with them. They go a long way. They're 100% usable. Good protein. Good source of alternative protein. And with black beans, I just like to run some cold water through there and get rid of some of that juice. Chickpeas or white beans, you can actually use the liquid to do things with. Black beans I don't find is very useful. It's got the same properties, it's just a hideous color. Chickpea liquid is all the rage these days. When you see pea protein on labels now for a lot of things, it's chickpea. It's basically chickpea liquid. It's the same thing. And then, so I've got a nice simmered salsa with good chunks of onion in it. Still some liquid in there. And then I'm just going to throw a handful of tortilla chips in there. And at this point in time, I just want to get them tossed in there and a little bit moist. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put a top on it. I'm going to let them steam for a second while I get some cheese. Don't look in my fridge, please. Regular old grated cheese. We'll do an egg to go with it. Somebody tell me a joke. No? No jokes out there, huh? Again, I've got a little bit of light olive oil. I'm going to get it nice and hot.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
What kind of salsa did you say you were using? You broke up.
Okay, this is just a regular old, any kind of salsa will do, whatever you got around. This is the El Pinto roasted green chili salsa from New Mexico, but whatever you got will work just fine. I just happen to have that one in the fridge. And then we're going to drop an egg in there. These are my best friends right now. I spend a lot of time cooking in my kitchen. One is for compost scraps, and one is for cooking scraps. So onions, tomatoes, celery, carrots, anything I'm using like that. I'll put in there, and I can make a broth every other day. I can make a little bit of broth every other day, and it's free because it's just out of scrap. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper, and then we'll go airborne. Almost. There we go. Give that a second to warm through. Now, if you were ordering this in a Mexican restaurant, they were doing it correctly. It would have a sort of some sort of dried chili salsa, a little smoother. But you know what? I can do whatever I want. It's my dinner. It's going to be my dinner. So you just sort of want to get the chips kind of warmed up and soft. And then we've got a nice runny egg. some cheese. A jalapeno, some cilantro, some green onions, some fresh tomatoes, and voila, somebody's got a nice breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, whatever you would like. So that's something that, you know, again, you can take that to whatever extent that you want. If you want the pickled jalapenos, go for it. If you don't. So it's, you know, in the end, it's your dinner. So you're the ones that get to choose. Anybody got any subjects they want to talk about cooking, questions they want answered? Well,
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you know when that egg is done? Like, what are you shooting for the egg?
I'm watching the whites that are just around the outside of the yolk, because once those start to, they're not real jiggly and real thick, it's pretty much cooked through. I like a super runny egg, so I don't really care. Some people are completely freaked out by that. So it really depends, but I watch the whites that are right around, the thickness of the whites right around the yolk.
Doesn't the yolk break when you flip it?
I just, you know, if you're real gentle, no, it doesn't. I let it I let it flip, and it stayed set up nicely. Let's see. Okay, so this one, I've got them all mixed up. But this one is carrots, onions, celery, tomatoes, anything that's not like lettuce or cucumbers or things like that. I'll put zucchini scraps in there. I'll put a little bit of broccoli scrap in there, and I will, you know, every other day I'll just put it up with some water, and if I've got herb scraps around, I'll throw that in there. And it's sort of in lieu of chicken stock or chicken broth, and you've always got the stuff around, so you might as well just give it a try. It's very good for soups. It's good for rice. Anything that you'd use chicken broth for, it's a good replacement.
Can you spell that dish that you just made?
Yes, it's chilaquiles. Chilaquiles.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, what other things can we make from basic pantry items? I always like to keep a little bit. All the stores these days are keeping bags of fresh bread dough in their refrigerator cases. Trader Joe's has it, Jewel has it, Whole Foods certainly has it. I know that Valley has it too. It's a very handy thing to have around, because you can do a lot of stuff with a little bit of bread dough. You can make pizza, or you can make calzones, you can make biscuits, you can make a stuffed sandwich or stuffed bread, and really very quickly. And it's just something a little bit different. It's fresh, it tastes good. What else do we have around here that's fun to play with? We use a lot of sweet potatoes around our house. It's a big guy. It's not going to cook very quickly though. Tomatoes are always good, except when they're not good. Here you are. You're going to get a look at my very dirty fridge. Can everybody see that? It's horrible, but it's very full. I try to maintain the semblance of order when we're in the lockdown, but it's pretty tough. Another good thing to have around, pesto.
Mike, we lost your video.
You lost my video.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And it might help if you turn it horizontally. At least for me, I'm only seeing it narrow.
Oh, perfect. Much better.
A little harder to hold up. You see, is that better? That's my dirty fridge. But I've always got onions, broccoli, peppers, carrots, celery. This is applesauce, which I make by the gallon. Very popular around my place. And then, flavors that you can add into things that'll make things pop a little bit easier than having to make them from scratch. Orange sauce, a little bit of tomato sauce, always lots of garlic. This is sauerkraut, homemade sauerkraut, which is very, very easy to make, very easy to ferment. What else? I won't show you the ham. No, I won't do that. I got always eggs, fresh basil, which, I don't like to keep basil around because it just doesn't hold for very long. It sort of oxidizes and turns brown and doesn't have a very good flavor. And then in terms of the freezer, which you'll never be able to see into, my kids make a lot of smoothies, so we've got frozen bananas, which are also a very good snack. What else do we have? Frozen berries, smoked beef, bag of chili. Got it. Never have enough bagels or pita bread around. I'm trying to get you back to horizontal. Sorry. All right, I'm back-ish. Can you see me? No.
We see your countertop.
You see my countertop. Yay. Got to get you turned around. Ah, there it is. How's that? I'm back. So this is a pasta that I've been making as of late. It's very easy to make. You keep a little pesto around. It's got some very interesting flavors. I like to mix up pasta and beans because it's a very traditional Italian thing, but it's got good it's a good balance of protein and carbohydrates. And I throw in some whatever kind of greens I have around. If I've got chard or cabbage, I'll throw some of that in. It's very warming and homey, and a good all around nutrition cut. So if I were gonna make it, when I boil pasta, I'm not quite as crazy with the salt as a Nona would be, but a good amount.
Can you tilt us a little bit? We're sort of looking at the ceiling.
I'm trying to keep everybody pleased with the horizontal, and it's not.
Oh, there you go.
I got a pot, a little bit of water because I'm only going to cook a little bit of pasta. Let me get this better situated. See if I can make it stand up better. If I had my own TV studio, it would be better. See if I can get this done. How's that?
That's good.
Now you get to see my chin. Perfect.
That's okay.
Pasta, I'm around the corner getting some pasta right now. Pardon me. I moved almost solely to brown rice pasta a while back, but whatever pasta you like. If you like spaghetti, go with spaghetti. If you like, I'm going to use egg noodles right now because I happen to have them and they cook very, very fast. But whatever you like, again, it's your dinner. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Something they're wanting to learn about or think about? Talk about restaurants in Evanston. Remember I was talking about the liquid from from white beans or garbanzo beans. This is the cooking liquid, and it's very thick, and you can actually whip it like egg whites to make a mousse like egg whites, or like a meringue. If you whip this stuff up, it's amazing what you can do with it. So I got very heavily salted water. This is a simple and very quick dip. Some egg noodles. While the egg noodles are cooking, I'm going to grab some greens, I hope. And some beans. You could use lentils or white beans. I opened a can of chickpeas, so we'll do chickpeas. But really, whatever you like. I got some Parmesan cheese. And
Next, how much salt did you put into that water, and why do you like it salted?
A small handful. I would say for every cup of water, like a half a teaspoon of salt. You want to taste the salt. If you dipped your finger in the water, you want to be able to taste the salt. And also when you're cooking vegetables, when you're cooking green vegetables, you definitely want to be able to taste the salt, because when you drop a raw green vegetable into boiling water, it's soaking up the water, and at the same time, it's going to soak up some salt and get some flavor. Get some flavor going. These pasta noodles cook very fast. Gonna pour most of it off. I'm going to put some pesto in there. Pardon me as I step out. I've got pesto, and then I'm going to put some kale. This is chopped kale. It's already chopped and washed and stemmed. I'll put some of that in there. Try not to burn anything. Good dose of olive oil, because it's good for you. Olive oil is good for you. A little bit of salt. Good dose of pepper. A little bit of these tomatoes. And some chickpeas. And you've got a good, kind of hard to see. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Greens and beans and pasta and cheese. Good and good for you too. Here we go.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't usually buy pesto because a serving is so small, and my understanding is that it has a really short shelf life in the refrigerator. Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, you can make it, or you can construct it on your own. You know, I think I could easily get a week to 10 days out of a little container of pesto, so I'm not that concerned about it. If you wanted to buy it, and then you could use what you had or what you needed for your recipe, and then you could throw the rest in. You could throw the rest in the freezer. You can ice cube trays are very handy for that sort of thing, because you can freeze the pesto in little cubes, then pop it out and put it in a Ziploc bag. And you've got pesto for for the next time you want to do this recipe. And then, excuse me, a good smattering of cheese. Can you see that?
That looks so pretty.
Good throw of cheese, and that's, you've got lots of good food groups in there. You got some greens, you got a little bit of cheese, you got some fat, you got some protein, and you're good to go. And what'd that take, like 6 minutes at the most? Give me 1 second. I just got rid of the chilaquiles. My son's gonna eat them. He just came from his workout. So, let's see what else. Any questions? Any comments? Anything anybody wants to see? Doesn't want to see? Kind of running around, but that's okay. Let's see, in terms of, let me get rid of some of this stuff.
I have a question. For that bag of kale, did you prepare it or did you buy it that way?
Sure. I bought it that way. I bought a big bag of kale. I can't remember. I bought it. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just not on video.
Okay. I bought a big bag of kale at one of the wholesale markets. So it's been stemmed and chopped and washed and rewashed. So I can pull it out and use it at the drop of a hat.
That's great.
Mike,
it's very flavorful.
Is there any way to make that pasta sauce for a husband who does not like leafy greens?
Yeah, don't put any kale in it. Whatever he wants, whatever you want. You could replace it with broccoli very easily. You could replace it with chopped zucchini. You could use a milder greens, like a milder green, like all the flat leaf spinaches are pretty mild. If they don't like, if somebody doesn't like stronger flavored greens, that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not tied to convention on anything like that, because I've said it before tonight, and I've said it in every single cooking class I've ever done. It's your dinner. If it's how you like it, and that's the way it should be. What else? Other questions? I'm going to hunt around for something else. Something else fun. I'm still here. Come on, folks, help me out.
Mike, are you finding it difficult to get ingredients now?
Finding hard to get ingredients?
Yeah, the stores are out of things.
Was that the question?
Yes.
Stores are out of. I've noticed. Well, bread baking is the new hot hobby. So I just heard today on the radio that banana bread is the #1 food query on Google. So everybody's baking. Everybody's home. They want to feel comforted. They want to, get filled up and satisfy their sweet tooth. So they're making banana bread. So the one thing I've noticed is flour is definitely out. I'm a bread baker, so I always keep several kinds of flour around. And bread flour is hard to find. Fresh yeast is hard to find. But there's a store over on, it's on Oakton, just east of the river, just east of McCormick, called Gordon Food Service, GFS. and it's sort of halfway to a wholesale market, and they don't require you to have a membership, and you can get big sacks of flour, you can get large amounts of yeast.
Okay, good. Seems like he's frozen.
A little frozen, Mike.
Guess we'll have to rejoin.
Lost him. Done.
Does anybody have any other good recipes?
What's in your fridge?
Shlomi, you have such a beautiful kitchen.
Maybe she's talking to Mike.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, he's joining back. Yes, I would love to have this kitchen behind me.
Yeah, I find we just don't have a variety of ingredients, so it's hard to do a spur of the moment.
I'm back.
Together.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Technical issues, you know. Everybody still there?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes,
You see me?
can hear you and see you. Thank you.
Good.
What were we talking about before we got so rudely disconnected?
GFS.
Places to shop.
Banana bread.
GFS for that. What's that?
You were talking about, starting to talk about banana bread.
Oh, it's just everybody's baking right now. So flour and yeast and big sacks of sugar seem to be short at all stores. So it is what it is. It's fun though. I mean, cooking, it's creativity and it's sharing and it's there's no more basic way to make someone happy and to share with someone than to cook for them and to break bread. So it's a great way to we can't necessarily all be together right now, but we can share a meal even over the internet and have part of the experience. And then the farmers market is open again. They did an excellent job this weekend of getting open and following the new rules of the world that we're in right now: social distancing and face covering and lack of contact. But for the first week, they did an excellent job. And you can go. All of your favorite purveyors are there. They request that you order ahead of time if you can. And obviously you're not allowed to touch anything, which is kind of funny or sad, depending on your point of view. But they're all there and they're all hurting for business because they're used to all those purveyors are used to selling scads and scads of food to restaurants, and there's no restaurants are at about 30% of where they were a year ago. What else? Come on, help me out. What's something that you miss about restaurants? What's a restaurant that you miss?
I miss going to Libertad.
Libertad?
Yeah.
What's a dish that you miss having there?
Oh, they have a great skirt steak dish.
Mm-hmm.
All their food is really good. But that's going to be a tough
All their
one
food's
for
good.
them because it's such a tight space. Everybody's sort of on
Yeah.
top of each other there.
To make everybody stay 6 or 7 feet apart. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really, really rough. Yeah, it's not gonna work. For some restaurants, it's just not gonna work. But they're gonna have to do the best that they can. What else?
How about a sauce for like meat or poultry?
Sauce for meat or poultry. I am a big fan of I'm a big fan of olive oil and mustard sauces for meat and poultry. So I will take my trusty pan, which you can't really see, but I'll show you. A little bit of oil, some onions, some garlic, a little bit of tomato. I'm gonna cook that out a little bit. Gonna let it. It's called. You want to get it up and hot. You want to start to hear that sizzle, and that's called. The technical term is sweating. You're releasing the. You're releasing some of the essential oils out of the vegetables and letting them break down a little bit, and letting them caramelize. And then I like Dijon mustard. I'm going to disappear over here and get some lemon. Maybe. Oh, perfect. I got about 2 teaspoons of Dijon in there. Can anybody see that?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to give it a good squeeze of lemon. Let that come together. And then if I wanted sort of an Italian profile on this, I could throw in some basil and some rosemary. If I wanted a more French take on it, I could throw in fresh thyme and parsley, maybe some capers, and it would go very nicely on, go nicely with steak. It would go nicely with grilled fish. It would go nicely with a roasted chicken. Dijon and roasted chicken are, you'll make a lot of French chefs smile if you give them that. What else fun do we have to play with around here? Not much. Other staples in the house, always lots of garlic. It's good for you. Lasts a while. I like to keep roasted garlic around, if I can find it. So I will peel 3 or 4 heads of garlic and then put it in oil. I put this right in the oil, peeled right in this jar, and then simmered it on the stove. And the oil got hot, but not too hot, so it's not going to burn the garlic. So it cooked nice and slowly, and then I removed it from the pan and let it cool in here. And it's as long as it stays submerged in the oil, it's going to stay good in your fridge for quite a while. And you can take this out, kind of hard to tell from where you guys are, but this is super soft. You can, smear it on bread or smear it on potatoes, smear it on toast, whatever you want. Again, just a step, something you can do pretty quickly while you're at home, and just make things easier at dinner time. What else?
You were talking about sweet potatoes. What all do you do with sweet potatoes besides baking?
What do I do with sweet potatoes other than bake them?
Yes.
I like to I like to roast the pieces. I like to cut them into maybe an inch thick slice, 1.5 inch thick slices, and roast them in the oven. And when they're almost done, give them a good sprinkling with, I like a little bit of cumin and a little bit of cinnamon and maybe some garlic. And just let that sort of adhere and let the flavors toast out a little bit. And they're delicious. They go very well with meat or chicken, for that matter, with fish. And they're gonna be coming in the market more and more now because we're getting to, well, who knows? Who knows what's gonna be in the market?
You drizzle with oil?
What else?
You put oil
I'm a
on
big
them?
fan of avocados. What's that?
You put oil on the sweet potatoes?
Yes.
Okay.
I put a little bit of oil on the roasting pan, and then I'll put the oil or slice the potatoes, put them down, and then flip them over so both sides will get coated in oil. And then the spices I was talking about will go in later so that they don't get too charred. Does that make sense? Cinnamon, cumin, maybe some cayenne, flavors that I think would go very, very well. This is clarified butter. So butter is part butter fat and part buttermilk. And if you take drawn butter, is just melted butter. But if you take and if you keep cooking that down, you'll cook off the water, and sort of the milk solids will float to the top, and you'll be left with you can't really tell, but let me see if I can. A very clear butter fat. It's what we used to get for dipping things in, like fish at seafood restaurants. But you can warm it, or you can make it and leave it in the. It's stable, so that it'll sit on the countertop, and it just leaves it adds a nice flavor to. It adds a nice buttery flavor. If you can add a little bit right at the end of when you're cooking something, without adding all the fat that is associated with adding tons and tons of butter to things.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah,
do you ever preserve
I'm
lemons?
right here. I don't preserve lemons. I've preserved. Right. I've preserved a lot of things, but I've canned a lot of things. I could climb up and show you, but I'm not gonna. But I've never done lemons.
What do you do with preserved lemons?
I'm a big fan of Meyer lemons.
Why do people preserve
That's a good
lemons? What do they
question.
do?
It's a very, it's an integral part and flavor in Moroccan cuisine. So in tagines and stuff like that. But I've tried to do it a couple times and it wasn't particularly successful. So I'm not a big lemon preserver. But
Okay.
if I lived someplace with lemon trees, I'm sure that I would do more of it.
Right.
I pick this time. I pickle a lot of tomatoes. I jar a lot of tomatoes. I jar a lot of asparagus. This time of year, wild leeks are really good to get if you can get a hold of them. They're very good to pickle and jar or can. It's fun. People are very scared of it because because it can go bad on you, but I've never had anything go bad. I'll jar tomato sauce, applesauce, beets, pickled beets. My attempts at dill pickles haven't been particularly successful. That's okay. I'll keep trying. You just have to watch the sugar content of what you pickle, because it can keep going, and not in good ways.
I see a lot of times
What
on
else?
I see a lot of times on the Food Network people pickling onions for certain recipes.
Yeah, pickled onions are very popular. That's one that's just not my thing. I just don't really care for pickled onions that much. I've got tomatoes up there. I've got chow chow, like pickled corn relish that I jarred, and that's probably 4 years old, and it's still up there and looking just as good as the day that I made it, if not better. There's a guy who has a restaurant, who's had restaurants in the Chicago area. His name is Paul Verant, and he wrote a great preserving and pickling cookbook. It's called The Preservation Kitchen. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
I use it for all kinds. And we're getting into the grilling season, the smoking season, so we can start smoking things outside. So that'll be more fun too. But the thing about it is, just have fun with it. It's food, it's dinner. It shouldn't be too serious. Just have fun with it. Share your joy, share your passion, and share the food with your friends and your family. Or, is the case maybe right now, share the screen.
Right.
What else can I share with you? Well, I think we're coming to our end here.
It's supposed to be an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
So I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
And stay safe out there and enjoy your dinner. I hope everybody got at least one thing out of this.
Mike, thank you so
Thanks a
much.
lot.
Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.